Hey Chickies, okay, today we're doing a Harley Quinn mani, obviously based off of the new movie Suicide Squad. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to it, although I have heard mixed reviews. Some people say they really hate it and some people say they really love it, so I guess I'll have to make up my own mind. Now, this was actually requested by Nella Stanek on Instagram. I posted a little quick thing on that Instagram stories thing. It's not as good as Snapchat, that's for sure. Anyway, that's another whole thing. So thank you very much to Nella Stanek for requesting this. She was the first one to reply to my request for suggestions, so that's what I decided to do. And I actually had thought about doing Suicide Squad nails like a few weeks ago, but then I completely forgot about it. So yeah, let's get into it. I really hope you like it. It's kind of long, but there's not a lot of, I didn't put extra ads in this one. And I actually, on that note, just to get off the subject, I decided that I'll only do those, like extra ads in videos, when I'm doing multiple nail looks in one video. So yeah, I figured that's fair enough. Okay, so I'm starting off with a white base, and for this particular mani I'm using Floss Gloss's Mrs. Tony Montana. It's a lovely little white polish. Sorry, I just got a message. It is a great little white polish. It is definitely opaque in two thin coats. Yeah, you're going to need two thin coats, but it's a lovely, really bright white. I really like it. I need another bottle. The bottles are tiny. So I'm waiting for the first coat of white to somewhat dry. I'm going to also add on my pinky and my index a couple of coats of OPI's Keeping Susie at Bay, which is a lovely dark blue. And now it's time to come back for the second coat of Mrs. Tony Montana. And of course, let's go ahead and do some nail cleanup porn. Here you go. The next step before starting the background of the nail art is to add a coat of Seche Vite. I always do this. I tend to do it at literally every single time, no matter what I'm doing. Next, I'm going to be using some liquid latex to protect the skin around my nails. I'm using Bow Polish's Skin Protect in this particular instance. No particular reason, no reason why this over another product. Just wanted to use this one. Was really close to me and I couldn't be bothered standing up and going to get the other one off my shelf. It's not a big deal. People need to get over that sort of stuff. Now, yes, sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm still sick. You have to like give me a little bit of leeway here. So for the background, I'm going to be using again Floss Gloss polishes, starting off with Wavepool. And then I'm going to also be using Wet and Limon. I'm also going to be using this really gorgeous peach color called Pony, and then Maliboob Job, which is just a funny name. It's a lovely hot pink. I'll also be using my e.l.f. concealer brush to create the mottled effect in the background. So to create the background, as I said, I'm using my e.l.f. concealer brush. You've seen me use this on numerous occasions. I really like the way it looks and I love that it doesn't create a huge amount of mess. I probably could have used a sponge, and to be honest, in the end I wish I had for this particular mani, but you know, you live and learn, and I couldn't be bothered starting it again, so I didn't. Now I'm obviously starting with Wavepool, and then moving on to Wet, and then Limon, and then in the corners, sort of around the corners of the nail, I'm using the gorgeous little Pony which is that lovely, gorgeous peach colour. You have to see it in real life to see just how pretty it is. It's much harder to show you on camera because it doesn't seem to translate very well. Now, as you can see, I'm now coming back in with a little bit of white because I found that the colours that I was using just seemed to be a little darker than what I was going for. Ramble, ramble, ramble. Next, I'm coming in with my fan brush, and the only reason I'm using my fan brush is because it has the bristles are kind of separated, and what I'm going to be using that for is to create these little splotches in and around, more towards the corners of the nail, not in the center of the nail. I'm actually going off of an image I found on Google Images. That's what I was going for. If you just search Suicide Squad and click on images in Google, I think it'll be really easy for you to find which image it was. I'm not going to put it up here because I don't want to get a copyright strike because I don't own the picture or the rights to that picture. So I've completed the background, and I did that on my two middle nails. I did exactly the same thing. I'm going to add a coat of Seche Vite before coming in with some lettering and the detail of the actual Harlequin, what do you call it, thing. You know what I mean, the picture of Harlequin. So for all of the details, I'm going to be painting with watercolor paints, and I'm also going to be using a light blue acrylic craft paint as well. So on my ring fingernail, I'm going to be painting the words Harley Quinn, and the reason I did it on my ring fingernail is because I needed to use the middle nail for the picture of Harley Quinn, because my middle nail is wider than my ring fingernail. My ring fingernail is quite thin, and I have to say, with all honesty, I was wrapped with how just the lettering came out, because normally I'm so far off center and so far off straight in any way, shape or form when it comes to lettering that I was so happy with myself. And I did this part at night time, and I put a top coat over the top, and then I went to bed, and then I did the rest of it when I woke up. Like, I'm voicing over this video on the same day that I finished it, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Normally it'll be at least a couple of days before I voice over a video. Yeah, so yay me. Okay, so the first part is done, and now it's time to paint the Harlequin, and this was... No, I won't call it fun. I will not call it fun. I will call it challenging and frustrating and all of the above. And you could probably get away with just doing a skull and crossbone and just leaving it at that, and just tell everybody it was Harlequin, because it was a lot more. I mean, the image that I was working off was it looked simple enough. And that's the way I always approach things. I look at them and I go, oh, I could do that. And then when it comes time to actually do it, it does, yeah. Oh, look, I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think the skull itself was far too thin. It should have been a lot wider, because the image that I was working off was a lot wider. And it's always like later that I realised that I've probably bitten off more than I can chew, but what are you going to do? I had to do it. I'd already said I was going to, so I really couldn't back out. Oh gosh. Anyway, enjoy. This is me painting. Well, I'll come back in a moment and show you how I fix a couple of things, because there's a couple of things I'll need to fix. It's probably pretty obvious at this point that the skull itself is too thin, and the top bit, which is separated from the bottom bit, is is too far up. So eventually I figure that out and then bring that right down to the sides, and then you'll see that the bottom jaw is way too wide. It shouldn't be that wide. I just completely stuffed it up. I had the picture in front of me and there was no reason for me to stuff it up so completely, but anyway, it's not a big deal. And the fact that I'm using acrylic craft paint, it means that I could start again and redo the whole thing, but at this point I really figured that I'd done way too much to go back now. And as you can see, I even accidentally put red in her hair on the right hand side, whereas it's only on the left. She has blue on the right hand side, so I stuffed that up as well, but luckily the paint that I'm using will go over that and it's not a big deal. But yeah, I stuffed lots of this up, but thankfully all I need is isopropyl alcohol and a brush and I can clean stuff up. That's what I love about using acrylic craft paint. Why would you want to have to completely start the whole thing again by using polish? Unless you never make mistakes, which I don't know anyone who doesn't make mistakes. Not one person in my life does not make mistakes. Not one. So if someone tells you they never make mistakes, they're a liar. A really big liar. Okay, so here you can see me coming in with my Royal Majestic brush, and all I have on it is some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just attempting to try and fix this terrible mess that I've made, especially down the bottom where her jaw, the bottom part of the jawline is supposed to be a lot smaller, like half the size that it is right now. So, and that's look, I tried to fix it just by going in from either side to begin with, and it wasn't really cutting it. It wasn't working. So I decided to just get rid of the whole bottom bit and redo it. Okay, so still definitely not perfect, but I figured at this point there was no way I was going to restart it, and I was basically happy with what I'd done, given the fact that I'd monumentally stuffed it up anyway. So just going ahead and sealing it all in with my favourite top coat, which is of course Seche Vite, and then I mattified every single nail using I&M Nails Out the Door matte top coat. And that's it for this one. I really hope you liked it. I hope it, well, you know, I just hope you liked it. Jeez. I mean, if there was nothing else, the lettering that I did, I was really proud of. I mean, it somewhat looks like the image that I was working off, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, if you want to know where that skull and crossbone ring that I've got on my pinky comes from, that is from the most talented jeweler. Her name is Emma Abrams. She has a company called Heart of Bone in Australia, and she's one of those cool chicks. You know, one of those chicks that we all want to be, but we weren't born that way. But she's actually one of those people that's just cool. She really is. Anyway, I will put links in the description box down below so you can go and check her and all of her beautiful creations out. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I will see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and thank you for subscribing, and thanks for that, sorry, delicious thumbs up. Can't speak now. Oh yeah, don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, because that's where it's at, and not silly Instagram stories, although that's where this whole thing started out. So anyway, oh, I was cheating on Snapchat. Don't tell anyone. Alright, I'm going now. Bye.